What's up, man?
Dude, what's been up, my man? Go ahead and introduce yourself, dude.
I'm Landis. I've known Luke since it was like seventh grade middle
Seventh
school.
grade, yeah.
Poppy Grove, yeah. Man, it's been a minute since then.
Seriously, man.
It's been a minute since I actually saw you. I remember.
Were you at North?
Yeah, I was at North for a little bit.
Yeah, I was about to say because I thought you left after what was it, like sophomore, junior year, or something like that.
So I was there freshman year. Left, and then I went back for junior year.
Right.
So yeah, that was what that was, and it was football related, but then football didn't work out.
Right.
I mean, also I got hurt too, like
Right.
messed up my foot. Now I got like 2 surgeries later, a plate and 4 screws in there.
Right.
So yeah, it was it was something, honestly.
Right. Hell yeah. Well, dude, I've been doing this podcast for a minute, but hip hop's always been like my number one genre. Really, I mean, there's a couple other genres I like, but hip hop has always been my number one. So I thought, there's a lot of people. You got guys like, the Breakfast Club and Adam 22 and stuff like that. But sometimes I feel like they like to trash artists, and I always hate that. I hate. I don't know. I hate how they're not under an art platform other than just talking to people, which is an art to me.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna sit here and just trash artists. I want to bring on artists that I like, that I love, that I listen to. You know what I mean? I want to pick their brain. You know what I mean? Because I have so much respect for hip hop and everything it stands for. Yeah. So that's why I started this, dude. And dude, I love the album, man. I was jamming to it today.
Thank you.
So how'd you get started rapping, or how long has it been?
I've been making music since I was 8.
Really?
Yeah, cause see, originally, Michael Jackson was. I wanted to be like Michael. I wanted to sing, but as my voice got deeper, that we couldn't pursue that necessarily. So I started rhyming around 10. I was influenced by like Tupac. Because my mom, I didn't understand him when she would first play him to me because he was talking about such deep stuff.
Right, for sure.
Such deep content. And now getting older, it's just like, oh, okay.
Right.
Okay. But, yeah, it's been a minute since I was writing.
For sure. What's it called? Yeah, that's one thing that when I was listening to your music, dude, there's some people who I know who are, they're super lyrical, and they have it. They got the punchlines. They got all of that. They even got really good flow. But dude, one thing I notice about your music, man, and I'm not even bullshitting you, you have a lot of passion in your songs, man. And that's what I think draws people to a real artist. You got like one hit wonders. You got people who, they got the sauce, man. They're good. They can rap, but they just don't have the passion. You look at Pac, right? You were just talking about Pac. Pac, with all due respect to Pac, I don't think Pac can rap better than Biggie. I don't think he sounds as hard as, maybe even like 50 or those guys like that. But the thing about Pac is he's more passionate than all those guys. You
can hear it in his voice, yeah.
Right, 100%. And that's what made him stand out. Dude, there really hasn't been anyone in hip hop as passionate as he put into his music. You know what I mean? He was a real poet, dude.
Yeah.
But that's one thing I love about your music, man. It's super passionate, dude. Also, another thing, did you pick the order of what you put in that album?
Yeah, I picked the...
Bro, did you think that out? Because, I wrote some stuff down, but dude, to me that was brilliant, man. I thought you really put it in order perfectly of, Michael breaking some shit. You drew me in with that first single and that intro song, and then it just layers, man. And especially with the last 2 songs, I thought that ended perfectly, dude. You really put that in order perfectly. How did that work?
So yeah, I kind of based off of the vibes, I felt like Grass Ain't Greener, the intro, it just kind of explained me a little bit.
Right.
Not necessarily. I wanted to make because I made the instrumentals except for one, Lipstick and Mascara. Reed Turner made that.
Right.
Shout out to him and the Laundry Boys. But I made all the other beats on my phone. So when I was playing with the song and stuff, I was like, this kind of has a really like a bouncy feel to it, and I'm explaining myself while at the same time it's a unique sound. So I thought, okay, that needs to go there, and then I just kind of I imagine if I was a listener and I was like, okay, this would kind of be the order I'd want to hear it in, and then the more slower stuff slash should be more in the middle slash near the end, and then the outro, say my name 5 times, just kind of like mic drop. I don't know, just the vibe itself was just like, all right, now I'm out.
Yeah, because I mean, you were just saying like you wanted to sing like Michael, but man, there was a lot of like drawn out flows, and honestly, you were singing on the last song there, dude, and that was really good, man.
Thank you.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. That's what is it? I know there's something. I watched this interview one time, and it was Lil Wayne talking about how he was learning new flows. So he learned new flows from like a singer, right? He learned like how to draw out his flow and stuff like that. I really appreciate flow patterns. Like in my opinion, when I look at rap, I love flow patterns more than lyrics, honestly.
Yeah.
Is it for you more a little bit of everything, or are you like what do you like to cater to when you listen to hip hop?
See, throughout the years, it all has changed.
Right.
I mean, at this point, I want to say I'd like to imagine everything, but in the beginning, it was just rap trying to rap fast. Then eventually, it got to lyrics, and then it started to, all right, I want to patent down like my flow, and then eventually got to my tone of voice. So really. You incorporate all of those, and I'm still learning certain stuff because I'm just now getting to the recording process. But that's difficult to pick one because you can be saying some deep stuff, but if you're not interesting, people aren't gonna. That's why in like churches they have pastors sometimes that are like really hype and stuff because sometimes they don't want people just like.
Falling asleep.
Yeah, you don't want them falling asleep, and that's like a nightmare for an artist. Is you performing and people are just on their phone and just looking around. When are we gonna leave? And it's like you want to keep them engaged, so it's hard.
That's incredible. Yeah, I actually had dude, I have to maybe link you guys up. Do you know Marty Oppenheimer? You remember Marty?
That name sounds really familiar.
So he goes by his producer name is Ayo Martian. He goes by Ayo Martian, and man, he's one of my best friends. And like regardless, I even said it. We did a podcast last night. It was the first hip hop podcast I did. Dude, I've been listening to his beats since it first started to now, and he dropped an album just beats, and it's crazy, dude. Watching how he progressed, and he's really good, man. I'd have to link you guys up, but he was telling me last night, just like if someone tells him, like for him and his music, like he was telling me, dude, if someone says, "Oh, it's a vibe," he's like, it's not knocking anyone who has vibey music. He's like, just that's not my music. If you think this music is a vibe, I failed you because I want this to be lit. I want emotion into this. Yeah. No, that being said, dude, I felt like you had a lot of emotion into your music.
I went for that.
Yeah.
I went for it. In certain songs, there's more emotion than others. Like, because what he said, he wants it to be hype. With certain vibes, because when it's hype, it needs to be hype. It can't be semi-hype. Otherwise, or because the thing about music that's just a vibe sometimes, it's cool, but at some point, sometimes the song can be forgotten almost because it's like, I used to feel this way a lot, and then people they'll like a few years later they'll look through their playlist. I forgot about this song. They forget about it because sometimes their vibes change throughout their life because of different events and stuff. So vibes are they're cool, but you want to grow with your music, substance and all that. Right.
Yeah, there's always a difference between like. It is so weird to me how there's songs that, like, just like you said, you'll go back on your phone, you're like, damn, this song was low-key a banger, like, why do I not listen to it anymore? Versus a song like, hey, y'all, or Sorry Miss Jackson. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that song is a classic. No one's
Yeah.
ever gonna forget that song.
It's,
you know what
it's
I mean?
stuck in your head even if you haven't heard it in like 10 years.
Right. And I feel like, and I'm not an artist by means, but I'm like imagining as an artist, like I feel like a lot of artists want to always find that next timeless song, that timeless sound sonically.
Most definitely.
Right.
Definitely. Like I was watching Drake talk about God's Plan because I think it was like song of the decade.
Right. 100%.
Yeah,
and that being at the end of the decade too, which is crazy because it was in the decade for like 2 years, and it's still that makes sense.
I think the runner up was like Lil Nas X, Old Town Road. I think that was the runner up for song of the decade. It's crazy how that works, but
I don't know about that.
I mean, I think I heard somebody say about. I mean, this song is cool.
Yeah, it was a great song, but I wouldn't call it a song.
Yeah, I think.
But,
I mean, the substance amount to it, and influence and it seemed more like a meme at first when it came out, but then eventually he dropped a little EP, and then people kind of started to say, okay, this dude's actually like an artist. So but yeah, timeless music. Everybody looks for that because that's what. Like when you saw 50 Cent, because I remember one of your first podcasts, you said you used to love 50 Cent. You were talking about his book.
Oh, dude, it's amazing, man.
See, like what is. I feel like me personally, his first 2 albums are like his best.
Oh, 100%. He's always going to be... I won't say he's always going to be chasing Get Rich or Die Trying, but he kind of... Like, after Get Rich or Die Trying, it's like, okay, man, like, you hit diamond right away. Like, where else are you going to go?
Exactly. And then Massacre wasn't bad, but it just wasn't as good as...
Right.
So, but I think the songs are so, like, in the club. Like, that song, so you're always going to remember his name. And then with some other hits that he has, he was able to branch out and then put business through multiple sources in the industry of movies and Vitamin Water, an author now. So.
Right. Yeah, that's dude. Reading the book, if you get a chance, dude, get your hands on. If you do you like to read?
I mean, I haven't read in a minute, but
right. No, I haven't.
If it's a certain person, though.
I'm still. Dude, I never read. Like, before this year, I read comic books. I'm a nerd, man. I love comic books. But I never really, like, read books. But this last year, I started getting into reading books and stuff like that. And I read 50's book. I've still, like, I have, like, 20 pages left, but I'm pretty much done with it.
Right.
Because I haven't, dude, I'm going to be honest, I've been lacking on reading. I haven't read in, like, 5 months, which sucks. But, that book, I mean, he explains about his deal with Vitamin Water. He goes into depth with how he was like, there's one point in the book where he talks about why he transitioned to, I mean, he's always a businessman, but why he transitioned to movies, like his next niche, why he always does that. He's like, and I always know when something's done. He's like, when he did that song with M on Relapse, Crack a Bottle, Let Your Body Walk. That song.
Yeah.
When he did that song, what happened was he performed it in the UK and people were loving it. Then he performed it in America and everyone was like, whatever. So he realized, he was like, all right, I can't, like, I just realized, like, I'm not looked at as dangerous anymore. I'm not looked at as 50. When I first came in, I was shot. I was broken. I wasn't looked at as broken. I'm looked at as a businessman. I'm in movies and stuff like that. I'm doing producing. Yeah. So he's like, I have to make that transition to, I'm going to be in movies and stuff now instead of doing the rap game. Which is, I mean, I think some people are like that. You know, they can do, they can switch over. And then some people who I think is crazy, like Jay-Z, he's always neck and neck with business and rap.
That's what me and my mom were actually talking about that, like a week ago. Was like, you know, I couldn't see Jay-Z in a movie playing anybody other than Jay-Z.
Right.
Like he's just either business or music. Right. It's just so hard.
Right.
To see that.
Right. Well, and that's another thing is like you see 50. I mean, 50. He's not like really in music anymore, other than beefing with people on the internet, which is hilarious. But like with Jay, dude, Jay could be doing business, and then all of a sudden he drops, 444. You know what I mean?
I love that album.
Dude, that album is crazy, man. That is a great album, and it's I like how it kind of sounds messy. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound. It's kind of like. Well, it was his playlist. That's what he said. It was his playlist or whatever.
Okay.
Dude, that album was great, man.
Because it was the first. I'm gonna be honest. It was the first Jay-Z album that really I actually like listened to, and then it made me look back at his first album, Reasonable Doubt. Um, but yeah, this album, because it was right after all this scandal stuff of Beyonce. I mean, him cheating and stuff like that. So,
yeah,
and then she dropped Lemonade like around the same time, but it just seemed like a more mature version of him.
Right, for sure.
You know, just a little more outside of like luxury and just, which I do appreciate at this, because he manifested all that, and then it came to him. Now he's a billionaire, but it was like almost another side of Jay-Z that you didn't see.
Right, it's good to grow with your music, like just like you said earlier, you got to grow with your music because I mean, Jay-Z can't be talking like big pimping, you know what I mean? He can't be saying that now, like he's just not 30.
He turned 51 yesterday, I think.
Was he 50? I know it was his birthday. I didn't know he was 51.
He's 51, yeah.
What?
Yeah,
that's wild, dude.
Yeah,
51. That's crazy, man.
And he's still in the music. See, it's rare, and like especially in the hip hop, because you try to like we were talking about 50. People don't see him as dangerous no more. People don't want to see someone dangerous when they're in their like mid 50s and stuff. So I feel like that kind of contributed to why 50 had to switch up what he was doing, and Jay-Z kind of could still stay on the same track a little bit.
That's one thing crazy about Jay-Z is me and Marty were talking about this after the podcast was, Jay has always been respected, right? He's always been a rap star, but he's a legend now. You know what I mean? Like for like in 2000s, even 2010, I feel like people never like thought of Jay as like a legend. He's Jay-Z. He's a rap star. But now of how much he gives back, how fucking smart he is. You know what I mean? Yeah. How much he invests into communities, and it's crazy because, in my opinion, there is no one that will disrespect Jay-Z. Other artists will obviously get disrespected. Other OGs will get disrespected, but dude, Jay will never. He's like the most. To me, he's the most respected dude in hip hop.
Yeah, I would say, and if he's not, then I would say he's up there because he's
probably
definitely
next to like
there.
Snoop. You know what I mean? I think Snoop's also.
Snoop. Oh yeah, Snoop, because he's so cool too.
Right.
Yeah, it's not that many people that are like up there. Like you could say LL Cool J, to a degree. He does movies now, or not movies. He's on a TV show, but some of the but Jay-Z only got into like one big beef, and that was with Nas. Yeah, I mean, unless there's like smaller, taking shots, but he was a likable person at that as well. Right. He was really likable.
Dude, I love that beat. I love diss tracks, man. I know they're really not as relevant anymore. At least it seems like. I mean, maybe. Yeah. I guess there's really not a lot of like, I don't know.
Like two heavyweights. Like when it was, Nas and Jay-Z, Jay-Z was like, he wasn't a legend at the time, but he was.
He's still a heavyweight, right?
Yeah, he was a heavyweight.
Right. Yeah, I really would love, I mean, I don't, like, obviously I don't wish for rappers to beef, but.
But you do think about it sometimes, just like, who would win?
Who would win? Because there's so many people. I always think of, one dude who I swear he takes, and no one ever talks about it, man. I always listen to Rick Ross. I swear he be taking shots at so many people.
Rick Ross, yes, he's a heavyweight lyrically too.
Yeah. And I always wonder who he could beef with. Like, I would love to. I mean, like I said, I don't want to see rappers beef, but it's interesting to see, like, dude. I mean, Rick did that song with what's his face? Taking shots at Will Smith, kind of almost like making fun of the situation. The Entanglement song.
August Alsina.
Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah,
which I guess is. I mean, it's just kind of joking.
I forgot about that, but yeah.
Right. And what was it? I don't know if this was really a shot at Kendrick, but he said something on that Meek Mill song with him and Jay-Z on it. It was one of the last songs on his last album. If you remember,
Off of Rick Ross's album.
No. Off of Meek Mill's album, Rick Ross was on it and Jay-Z was on it.
Was it? I forgot. Was What's Free?
Yeah, What's Free. That
Free.
song. Because he said something like before the K Dots in 06. Something Mona Lisa to me ain't nothing but a bitch. I was like, oh man. I was like, I feel like that is definitely a shot. You know what I mean?
Cause like, see, the only thing that would like probably, cause I'd be taking a shot at Wayne too, and I know but I see, but yeah, it's like, ooh, cause Kendrick had a great verse on that song, and he said K Dot too.
Right.
So
he said before the K Dot. So I don't know if he's talking about, cause I think he was trying to refer. Because I've heard him a lot, like trying to refer to the lack of respect he gets for how good of a lyricist he is.
Yeah, I don't feel like he gets enough.
No, he doesn't. I agree, he doesn't. And I think that's what he was trying to say. I don't know if it was like him trying to take shots, but so speaking of Mona Lisa, who do you think had the better verse on that?
I'd have to hear it again because I know they both. Because remember we were talking about Passion.
That was such a good song, man. I was waiting for that song.
It's hard to outbeat Wayne, but when Kendrick talks or raps, it's almost like he's talking. It's almost like
he's so unexpectable too.
Yeah, and at the end, I was like, oh.
He's like crying and rapping at the same time. I was like, what the fuck?
Okay, I'll say that had me a little more engaged. So if anything, that's the only reason I'll give it to him. It had me more engaged.
Right.
His verse was more
engaged. I got you. Yeah, it definitely was. Because I mean, I don't know. A lot of people say Wayne. I say Kendrick because of that, but man, I can't take anything away from Wayne because
it's so difficult.
Yeah, when you listen to that song, like he does trap you in to a story, right? And I mean, he's always throwing punchlines at you and stuff like that, but it is just amazing. And also, I don't know, dude. It was just crazy. But like you said, Kendrick is so engaged. It's just so like it makes you laugh. It makes you go, oh damn, like you know. And he's just like they go like this, like acting like he's crying but rapping at the same time.
That part was a little more unexpected than Wayne's part. Not that you knew what he was, because Wayne thinks of crazy stuff too, like
right.
But yeah, when he brought up that he switched to like the emotional part, I was like, yeah, that caught me off guard. I think that's what I remember a little more from the song. So yeah, I'd give it to Kendrick.
It reminds me of this. I don't know why it does, because it's not really, because that song is a story. And even I love at the end, like it's almost to me, it's like a perfect song, because even at the end it has the Mona Lisa, like the singing, you know, so it puts that in there too. But for some weird reason, because it's just two people who are so up there rapping together, it reminds me of Renegade with M and J.
And they said Eminem killed Jay's. That's probably popular belief.
Right, popular belief says that. But Jay's verse was nasty too, dude. I mean, Jay's was crazy.
It felt. I'm gonna be honest. It felt insulting, and you knew he wasn't talking about you, but it's like, ow, like if he was really coming at you. Like really, just like you, my son. Even for anyone that's listening, so I personally like Jay-Z's verse a little more.
Right.
But that's just me though.
Right.
He really. That's the thing about Jay-Z because I was looking at a freestyle he did, and he was just everything he just knows how to talk his talk.
Right.
And it's just like wow, like that's one thing about him too. He knows how to just talk his talk that I really admire about Jay.
Right. Yeah, and it's crazy he's never picked up a pen too. Like it's crazy he freestyles everything.
Wait, wait, he does?
Yeah, dude.
Ooh, that makes him even more great. Cause okay. I think okay, well I remember at one point, around the time Pound Cake came out from Drake's.
Right.
They were saying, what about these two going against each other? Man, that would be actually Drake and were like somewhat taking shots like throughout the years.
Yeah,
but but more like competition than actual issue.
Well, there seemed to me, I mean, and this means no disrespect to either one of them. They're great in their own way, but I feel like Drake. The similarities that I see with Drake and Jay-Z are they're so consistent. You know what I mean? I don't know if you're a big Drake fan or not. I mean, Drake.
I got more respect for him now because when that ghostwriting thing for a second, I was like, ugh.
Right.
But I got respect for him now.
What do you feel about ghostwriting like nowadays with rappers? Like, how do you think it takes a lot? I mean, obviously it takes somewhat away from the rapper, but I mean, you look at guys like Eazy-E, even Kanye, and it's kind of hard to take anything away from Kanye because his hands are so much in the music with the beats and everything. Yeah. So it's like you can't really knock him for having ghostwriters and stuff.
Like, can't completely erase his portfolio. Yeah. See, I recently found out about Kanye about like a few years ago about him having ghostwriters, but I think it's a little. I think because, like you said, he puts in so much with the beats, and he's a record producer straight up. Right. Like, he's not just he's a record producer, and has involvement in every part of the song. So it's a little harder to take away from him. And then with Eazy too, his voice and his delivery, because a lot of people probably saw Straight Outta Compton. Yeah, he was like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do this rapping." Nah. Right. But when he got on there, he was so good. Like, you got to keep on doing this. Right. And so I know it's hard. Yeah, it is kind of difficult to take it away. But I think the way I always saw it, they'll be great musicians and performers. So musicians and performers, they're like, number one, close and stuff like that. But when it comes to like lyricists, I think a lyricist and a great musician are two different things. Right. So I mean, you could be both. Right. But I don't know if I could put Eazy-E and
obviously not right. Yeah, because I would never put. I mean, I wouldn't put Drake as a all-time lyricist. Obviously, I know he does write a lot of his stuff, and I know he. There's people that say like he will work on one bar for like a week, which to me makes sense because I mean it's just like God's plan, right? Yeah. Like, I only love my bed and my mom. Like, that right there, like I'm like stuff like that. Like, for him to work on something for a whole freaking week, it explains why he's number one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's so much quality, right. And he has a lot of quantity too, but he makes sure that's quality before it gets put out. So that's how I'm like too. When I sometimes I'll be uncomfortable with certain stuff. I'm like, okay, I want to re-record this or whatever, because I don't want to just put whatever out. Even though in the beginning you got to have something, I still want to put out the best I can possibly put out.
Right. Do you and you don't have to explain if there's like it's like a secret or whatever, but how do you go about writing? Like, what inspires you to write? How does it work?
See, it's I still haven't quite figured it out. I'll say this though, I do take my time majority of the time, but I still, sometimes I'll think of a lot of stuff at night. I'll think of a lot of stuff at night. We got a Christmas tree in the living room. So I'll just like turn all the lights off and just keep the Christmas tree on. So then like has this vibe, and then I'll try to do it there. Sometimes I'll just be out. I'll think of something. I'll write down some lyrics I have from like almost 10 years ago that I've never used. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. So I still haven't figured it out. I usually don't think of stuff on the top of my head. I have this one song that's gonna be on my next project that I kind of thought top of my head, but yeah, usually takes me time. Usually takes me time. I don't want to just put whatever out.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, it's always interesting to hear stuff like that. Like, dude, you saying about the Christmas tree, like to me that gives me chills, man. Because when I hear artists be artists like that, it's awesome. Because I mean that's what being a true artist is. You're doing stuff that's just like it's a vibe. It's something to give you, inspiration. When I was talking to Marty, dude, I mean, he's telling me like he sees colors when he's making beats and stuff like that. Yeah, and it's wild how he explains. Like, I mean, you'd have to go back and when it posts, I think it's posted right now. It should be up, but
I'll check it out.
Yeah, for sure. Because I guarantee you he'll check this out because it's crazy just hearing both of you guys talk about like what gives you passion and what like how you guys really like get into it with, you know what I mean, with figuring out a song, man.
Yeah, it's never for me it's never I can never just like say like say we were rapping in this mic and you were like, all right, let's think of something right now. It might. I could obviously put anything down, but I don't want to just put anything
Right.
down. You know, I don't want to lie. I don't want to. Plus, that's not like that's not how I work. But because I don't want to cap. I don't want to be.
Right.
No. And on top of that, with music, humans, we all pass on one day, but the music's gonna stay.
Right.
I don't want people like 100 years from now, especially you can look up too if certain stuff true or not. So I don't even know why people lie, but
Right.
yeah, you don't want to be known as like a fraud or just a sell. Like I want to be pure about my
Right.
stuff. Like it doesn't have to be perfect, but I want to be pure still.
Right. Yeah, that's one thing. When I listened to the stuff you were saying in it, um, it definitely felt like you. You know what I mean? And obviously, I know you, so I like listen to it. I'm like, and obviously, I won't like name any people, but there are some people I hear rap that I know, and it is good. But to me, because I know them, I'm like, dude, you've never shot anybody.
Yes,
you know, I'm like, what are you?
Yes,
you know
that's what
I
I'm
mean?
saying. That's what I'm saying. And if they have shot somebody, I don't want to know about it for real. But
Right.
like, they cap.
Right.
They cap,
Exactly. Yeah, and I noticed that with some people, just the way they're talking. I get it. Sometimes you're freestyling or whatever. Sometimes I feel like people are freestyling, they get hyped, just say stuff. But when you're putting it into a song, and you're really like, I don't know, it just sounds to me. It sounds corny when it's not you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
It sounds like you sound out of place as well. Like you can't, like you don't trust who you truly are. You don't trust who you truly are to be successful or loved.
Yeah, 100%. Because I mean, and even if I don't know a person, it kind of speaks for itself, man. Like there's artists out there that they'll say shit, they're not really about it, or they're just saying like they're not talking about who they really are. And it doesn't even have to be about shooting somebody or bling or whatever. It doesn't have to be about
sex a lot.
Yeah. It could, something like that. It could just be about something you're totally just lying about. And the way they say it, it's like even if you don't know them, you're like, oh, that guy's really not.
Yeah, because
about that.
Certain, unless they're self-snitching, but really you just kind of get the vibe like this person's either lying or they're attempting to become something that isn't good.
Right.
They never were like that, and now they just kind of want to fit in or something like that. Yeah, I definitely feel that when I hear certain artists.
Right. Who are some new artists that you're like you could probably put me on?
New artists, see, I'm trying to think. As in like already getting like millions of views or just like local or
either one, man, honestly.
That's tough. I haven't came across too many. I mean, I know people that are my younger brother, Bear Flame. He's coming up. I'm cool with Demetrius too. So
Demetrius, dude, he's incredible, man.
We've been rapping together since I was like 13.
Really?
I was like 13. We still stay in contact. We gotta work on something, but
hell yeah, dude. I'd love to hear you guys because I remember the first time I heard D freestyle, man. I was like, because someone said he could rap, and I was like, really? You could rap? I remember we were in the car.
It was insane.
And he just went off, dude. I was like, and it was crazy. And I think I feel bad. Sorry, D, if I put you on a spot one time. But I told my buddy, we're in his car. I was like, bro, this dude, he's fucking good. Like, you gotta hear it. And D's like, yeah, I'll freestyle. And he went off, and my friend was like this whole time. I was like, I told you, dude.
Bro, what we used to do actually, during the summer, it was like 2013, 2014. We'd go to, so in the summer we'd meet up at Marion Park, and because I lived across the street from Marion Park, and he would get a ride there. So like he'd grab his phone, play a beat, then he would grab my phone and just do the audio, like voice memo, and we'd just be rapping, walking around, rapping like that. And we've been doing that. Also, my friend Derek Levan, he used to spit too, but he I don't think he's really into that no more. But it was usually three of us doing that. Yeah, crazy story. One time, me and Dimitri, we weren't by the playground this time though. We were just walking. We were like by the building, on the side of the building, because there's like some nursing home, I guess. So we're just over here rapping, doing our thing, and then I'm really getting into my verse. I'm like, da 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 da, and then Dimitri's like, oh, and then I'm like, what? And the police officer pulls up, and they were like, oh no. So then they come around. They're like, so we got to report you guys are smoking weed, which is like, nah, we weren't. But he's like, okay, can I come around and see or whatever, just see if we were like through some stuff or whatever. So he came around with where we at. And I remember Demetrius was like, no, we weren't smoking. I'll spit right now. And at the time I was like, what do you spit? Like, what do you? Because if you smoke, I guess your saliva is like real.
Right, it's like real white and real, like dry almost.
Yeah. So when he said that, I was like, what does spitting got to do with? But,
what are you talking about?
Yes. But yeah, we've been rapping for a minute. We just haven't got on a track together, which is long overdue.
The cops leave you alone after that?
Yeah, they left us. So there was another time they came up, probably before actually. This time it was with Derek as well, but that one didn't really. I think he was just like checking. He didn't really get the report. He just saw us. But that time, yeah, they got a report. But
Marion cops suck, dude.
I've always thought Mission's
pretty bad.
Mission, man. I remember like my mom. She'd always be worried about me driving around there because she's like, when we used to live in Mission, they just they just get bored.
Right, they really do. My mom or my grandma lives in Mission, so like I always know the spots not to really speed over there and stuff. I speed, dude. I have a lot of tickets. I love speeding. But dude, so weirdly I haven't had that, and I know Mission's worse. I agree Mission's worse, but I haven't had that many problems in Mission. Knock on wood. I've had like probably 4 tickets in there. Yeah, no kidding.
Like,
I've had like 4. I know, because that right after here I'll be in Mission going to see my grandma and then fucking whoop whoop. But dude, dude, there's this one cop. He pulled me over in Merriam, and I had like, and dude, I don't really drink ever. And I don't ever drink and drive, but I was doing something with my brother, and we were with his friends, and I drank. And don't judge me. I drank some White Claws or whatever. I don't ever
no,
drink.
Straight.
I don't ever drink
straight.
those.
Don't worry.
I'm just letting everyone know. I've already explained this on the podcast before.
Nah, you good. You good.
But no, I drank like 4 of those, but it was like 3 hours prior, right? And so I was drinking them, and I left, and I know those are real light. They're almost like water, dude. So it must have burned off quick because what happened was I pulled up over there on Shawnee Mission Parkway, and this cop gets behind me, and I turn off my lights because I went through the drive-thru. My lights are super bright, so I turn them off, and this cop pulls me over. I see him, and I'm like, fuck, my lights are off. I just realized, and I'm not drunk by all means. By all means, I'm not drunk. And I turn in, and I might have been a little tipsy, I'm not gonna lie, but I was definitely not drunk. I turn on my lights, and he obviously he waits, and then he lights me up, and then he's talking to me like, hey, he's like, how many drinks you had? I was like, dude, I'm straight. I haven't drank at all, whatever. He's like, all right. He calls for backup. He's like, all right, get out of the car. And then I was like, son of a bitch. I was like, dude, I'm fine. I just forgot to. I told him, I was like, well, I was at Taco Bell. I forgot to turn my lights back on. I didn't want to blind the guy. He was like, all right. And he was one of the young cops, dude. So he was kind of a dickhead. But the other cop was cool. The other cop was, he had a beard and shit. And he was like saying I smell a fruity smell, thinking I was drinking like a White Claw or something. He goes, but really it was like, this is the douchiest thing ever. It was my pre-workout that spilled over in my car. And he goes, nah, bro. He even said it. He said it just like this. He's like, nah, bro, it's his pre-workout. His pre-workout spilled in there. That's what that fruity smell is. I was like, yeah, dude, it probably.
So he basically saved your ass, basically.
No, this is what saved my ass, dude. And I'm nervous, man. And I do and I kind of was playing it off because I've been in a situation like this before, and I was like, man, I'm a little nervous. I've never been in this situation before. I'm trying to play it off. So I'm doing the walk-in and all the ABC backwards and all that stuff. And then this cop goes, he's looking at. I'm looking at him. They're looking at each other. They really think I'm drunk because I'm like my legs are shaking a little bit and stuff too. So, anyways, this cop goes, "All right, Luke." Well, the other guy was like trying to let me go. He even talked to me when the cop left. He's like, "Oh, you're good, dude. If you're not drunk, you're not drunk." I was like, "Yeah, bro." So he gets the breathalyzer. He's like, "I'm like, fuck, dude," because I knew I wasn't drunk, but I was like, "I'm gonna blow something."
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it was like 2 days before I turned 21, so I would have been fucked. So I breathed into it. It didn't work because I didn't do it right. He's like, "Oh, dude, no, you gotta like really blow into it." I was like, okay, so I fucking blew into it. He goes, looks back. He goes, starts laughing. I'm like, fuck. I was like, all right, bro, just let's just get this over with. And he goes, "Well, Luke, you blew a 0. You can leave." I was like, no fucking way. I was like, thank you, God. I was like, dude, there's no way that God is real, man. I was like, dude. And I just, I left, man. It was crazy. There's no way I blew a 0. But I did. And that same cop pulled me over for stopping only 2 seconds at a stoplight, or a stop sign, in Merriam, like 3 weeks later. And I recognized the cop, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Son of a bitch!" And he tried to get me. Yeah, he tried to get me for basically gave me a ticket for only stopping 2 seconds instead of.
You gotta hide from him. You gotta hide from him.
I know, dude. I was like, but he didn't give me a ticket for that. Actually, he gave me a ticket for because of COVID. I didn't get my I didn't get my license renewed yet. And I told him, I said, it's scheduled. I can show you on my phone the schedule. And he goes, "Nah, you're getting a ticket." So I took it to court and I got it. I got it off. I was like, dude, this guy has never got me. He hasn't got me yet. So
if we hanging out and we go through Merriam, bro, I swear, I can't. Oh man.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten pulled over yet. I almost got into a wreck though on my way here. I was turning because I was going to turn the corner, but then I saw the cars were coming this way, and I wasn't paying attention. I was like, oh, so I sped up. It was the longest turn, but I sped up.
Right.
And then I felt bad because then because I live by Oak Park Mall. So then, we're pulling up, and I'm like, oh, I feel so bad. Then I saw that someone keyed his car, and I'm like, oh, he's probably an asshole. Never mind. I feel good. I don't feel bad no more because what do you gotta do to get someone to key your car? So I don't feel bad no more.
Right.
I feel good.
Probably some chick, man. Mm-hmm. Probably some chick he cheated on.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, he's a cheater. I don't care. So I was like, I feel
that's
good.
Yeah, dude. I've only been on one wreck. That was awful.
I think I remember texting you about that.
Yeah. I flipped my Jeep, dude. That shit was crazy.
What?
I pulled off. So what happened was, it was my fault. I pulled off. At the last minute, my thing redirected my. And I was over in kind of by the JCC area like that.
Okay.
I'm really not familiar with that area at all.
I live around there.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So but there's Oak Park Mall, but then there's further out, right? And I'm talking way further out. I am not familiar with that. I think that's Overland Park. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that area at all. So, and I'm driving. I'm like, well, I gotta get back. So what happened was my thing redirected my maps, and it told me to get off on the highway. So I hurried. I looked back. I didn't see any cars. Shit. So I got off on the highway, and then the next thing I know, dude, it's just.
How many times do you think it rolled?
I rolled. What happened? This is what it did. It hit me, and I spun and rolled at the same time because it was weird. And I hit the this little island thing, and then it pushed me back because I looked at the car and I was like, because if I would have just flipped, I would have been facing this way, but I was turned around and facing this way, so it went like this. It literally went like this. It was crazy. And I'm so glad that. Another car wasn't coming, dude. Because God, I was I was thinking of that movie Disturbia when he flips his car and then he gets hit, and I was like, dude. And I kicked open the door too, and I was like, fuck. I feel like so many people thought I was dead, dude. There's no way.
If a car, you're gonna assume that when a car rolls over.
Yeah, it flipped and rolled. Yeah, and I'm guessing everyone that was watching thought I was dead, dude. I kind of felt G fucking getting out of there. Are you not entertained?
Oh,
like, dude, I kicked open the door, I got out, like, woo!
For you to be able to like kick open the door and then stand up.
Right,
too.
yeah, that's exactly what I did. Well, and my girl was we flipped and dude, I didn't have my seatbelt on.
Oh, she was in there too.
Yeah, she was hanging from the fucking because we were upside down. She was hanging with the seatbelt on. I literally look around. I'm like, where is she? Oh shit! I see her. I undo her seatbelt. She falls down. I don't know how. I was on my roof, just laying down. I don't know how, dude. I didn't have a scratch on me, dude.
That's what I was about to ask. Like, did you? I know they
took
you to the.
I had a little scratch on my finger. That's it.
Because I know they took you to the hospital after that.
Yeah,
to get checked out.
Yeah.
Was she okay?
Yeah, she was fine.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, it was crazy experience. And the freaking angel and I'm really not a religious person, but like the angel my grandma gave me was like right under me too.
I'm like that too. Like, I'm not super religious, but I believe in signs and.
Right.
I mean, I believe in God too, but I believe in stuff still.
Right.
I'm not super religious. That's the best way to describe it.
I get what you mean. Well, it's kind of like one of those things that we're not sure. You know what I mean? I think it's okay to be not sure. I know there's something, right? I know there's something. I feel like I've had too many experiences where something happened, and it's like, dude, something had to have created us. You know what I mean? It's so weird to think that. It is just so weird to think, man. It's like, why are we here? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's crazy. It is so crazy. So I always, and I've had so many weird stuff happen to me where I'm like, dude, that was God or the universe or something, man, you know?
Oh, yeah, straight up. Like, actually, my mom was telling me, it's like probably, a year ago, she was talking about, you're going to, 2020 to 2021, your music's going to start to take off and people are going to start to notice you. At the time, and she believed it more than I did at one point. I mean, I always believed in it, but times when you'd be like, "Is this gonna take off?" And then to kind of see, and for to be on this podcast, which I'm grateful for.
Hell yeah, me too, man. Thank you.
Yeah, and to see certain stuff come about,
right.
And it was already like premeditated.
Right.
It's it's amazing sometimes. It's real amazing.
Dude, I'm not lying, dude. That moves me a little bit. That your mom's like that, dude. And I'm not even just kidding, dude. Like, cause I feel like a lot of parents would be like, "Oh man, don't like you need to." Obviously, everyone wants they want you to go to school, do this, do that. But like the fact that your mom is like, "Dude, your music's gonna take off," and believes in you, like that's incredible. Like that's a great mom.
I'm extremely blessed for that. Yeah, my grandmother, she's the one that called me and told me about this. My whole family's really invested.
That's awesome.
Into seeing, and because when I wanted to do football and stuff, she said she thought I was capable, but something just kind of told her she was like, this wasn't going to be the thing, that the highlight of my life. She never told me that, while I was going through it. She never told me that. She just supported me, but then after the second foot, actually no, I had surgery on my knee in February. I ripped my meniscus off.
Damn.
So yeah, I've had 5 surgeries, and 4 of them were from football. So yeah, you remember Jamie Holmes?
Yeah, I remember.
I remember he was trying to get me to in 8th grade. He was trying to get me to play football, but I broke my jaw.
Right.
Playing in the backyard. Then I got to and this is kind of ties into the signs and stuff. So I messed that up and I couldn't go to sign up. Then freshman year, I got a real bad concussion, and because I remember I went to Northwest for a little bit. I got a real bad concussion, so the football didn't work out. Then sophomore year, grades weren't great. Then I messed my knee up. Still tried to play football. But then a month later, I messed up this thing. I ended up needing 2 surgeries. So it's just like, when you look back at it, it's like, this really wasn't, as much as I loved it, this never was the path. I gotta keep on sacrificing my body, and and obviously I kept on bouncing back. But I kind of realized after North, it really put music in front of my face, because it was just like, okay, nobody can tell me, no coach can tell me, I'm not hurt no more. No, bad teammates. Not that all teammates are bad, but
It's you.
it's me. It's actually who I am.
Right. It's not like you can't on a team you can blame someone else, but like with music, it's like this is all me. I'm invested. That's incredible, dude. You took a beating, man. You took a beating, dude.
Yeah.
You're like Terminator, bro.
Oh yeah, it's I'm half robot. It feels like at this point, all this metal in my foot. It just, I was so confused for a long time, and just like why
does it feel different in like winter? Because it gets cold.
It still hurts. Yeah.
Really?
It's still not as bad as when I first heard it, but it's still because see during the surgery it was the left foot. Doing the second surgery, because it was still hurting, and that's when they put the first screw in.
Right.
And they were like, okay, well, we're just going to take the screw out and then put these other 3 screws in a plate. So during the surgery, the bolt broke off, so they couldn't take the bolt. I mean, not the bolt. They couldn't take the screw out because the bolt broke off while they were trying to unscrew it. So it's still my foot. So they had to kind of compromise, but eventually they did what they had to do. So and then I thought about that too. I was like, if they can't even get this bolt out. Yeah, I'm done being an athlete because I wanted to be a boxer as well. But I was like, the athletic side I can be healthy, but no more athletic stuff.
Right,
so,
right. Yeah, you don't want to take that beating. Did you watch the Mike Tyson fight?
I couldn't buy it, but I watched the highlights after. Man, I love Tyson. He's one of my favorite athlete of all time. Is Tyson.
Same. I love Tyson, dude. He has a gift from God, man.
Honestly.
And he even said, like, when he was talking on Rogan, like, the gods of war summoned me. I was like, dude.
Honestly.
Like, you're right, dude. Because he has another level of, like, of just, like, a killer instinct, man. There's just something incredible about him, dude.
I heard, actually, that I forgot what this first, trainer's name was. He passed.
Customato.
Yeah.
Customato.
I think I heard something like he used to do like some type of hypnotism thing to like where he was specifically engaged.
Right.
And that's crazy because see how it paid off too. Because another thing too that makes Tyson that makes Tyson is how he is out of the ring too. Like Tyson Fury, right? People go, that's Tyson Fury. Can I get a picture with you? People were scared of Mike. Yeah. Like, if he walks through your door, a part of you's going to be like, oh, that's Mike Tyson. But another part's going to be like, hey, we good? Like, right.
Right. Well, that's the thing is it's Mike fucking Tyson, dude. Like, I mean, he has a tiger. You know what I mean?
He had a tiger, yeah.
Like, and someone was like, were you scared that that's going to flip? I'm like, dude, that tiger senses his animal instincts. That tiger's not fucking with Mike Tyson, dude. I don't care. Oh, no. I don't care if it's a gorilla, a tiger, a lion. They're not fucking with Mike Tyson.
Did you hear that story that he went to a zoo one time and a gorilla was like messing with the other gorillas and Mike said, "I'll pay you to let me fight that gorilla." He was crazy.
Right.
He was insane. Now a gorilla, if it hits you, like your rib cage's gonna
cave in. Yeah, it's a gorilla, dude.
Like, but he was on. Man, nobody else. Deontay Wilder, much respect. Tyson Fury. They're just not crazy like that.
No one's like Mike.
Crazy.
No one, and that's even like. I mean, you even look at what's his face? Why am I forgetting his name? The guy who Mike bit his ear.
Evander
Holyfield. Evander Holyfield. He's not. I mean, he's like very skilled. Big dude, incredible, a legend, yeah. But he's not like he doesn't have that aggression. He doesn't have that like animal. You know what I mean?
Like he's not like he's intimidating when you're fighting him, but off of that, I wish he was like my uncle or something. Like he's like, oh, what's
what's good?
Hey, Uncle Evander, if you want to, because he has a nice personality and stuff, which is obviously nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But Tyson is just intimidating in the ring, outside of the ring, because he wanted to live as if he was like a real like in a jungle, like he wanted to.
He's a warrior. He's a warrior. That is a real bred warrior. Like, dude, I really believe stuff like this. Like, I bet if you trace his genetic bloodline back, I bet that's just warriors, bro.
It has to be because on top of that, with his traumatic, him and Tupac were friends, and I think that makes so much sense. because their passion and stuff. Because I feel like the Mike Tyson of rap would be Pac. He was so aggressive, and then the boxer, and it's just he actually saw Mike Tyson the night he got shot when he passed away, but he was coming from a Mike Tyson fight, but it makes sense that they were cool.
Right.
It makes a lot of sense.
It does, dude, and that's the one thing about Pac, dude. Back to Pac, like he is like Mike Tyson on another level of energy, man. And even people, I think it was Ice Cube was talking about, like, dude, he's the most energetic person I've ever met, which makes sense. Like, he's so passionate. Like, it's just so crazy. Like, and even in videos, dude, you see, and obviously we weren't alive to see Pac, but like even in videos, they're so iconic of him walking around, flirting with the reporter, like joking around, getting out of jail and shit. Like he is like so passionate. Like he's a dude that would walk in a room and you just like feel the vibe of him. You know what I mean?
There's this
energy.
There's this song called High Speed. I think it's on the Outlaws album. Those are like the people that he kind of brought up with him a little before. It's the song called High Speed, and the hook is, "What you gonna do when you get out of jail? Right. I'm gonna buy me a gun. Right. Then what's next? Food and sex, house parties in the project." I'm just like, yo, what? Right. You just got out of jail, and you're gonna get a weapon. You're gonna go to a party. You're gonna
do everything illegal to get you back. He was on another level, dude. And dude, you even hear about, dude, I don't know if you've seen that interview of Snoop Dogg where Snoop was talking. He's like, here's the thing, is like, you talk like Pac wasn't saying in his music, I'm gonna kill somebody or stuff like that. He obviously talked about like what he lived, but he's like, other rappers were saying it, Pac was doing it. He's like, he's like, and you never heard about it because he was doing it. These rappers are talking about what they're doing, but they're not actually doing it.
I heard stories of Pac would like let people, homeless people or something like that sleep at, have a place to sleep at his house, and he never recorded it, nothing like that. Right. Put it out.
And it's crazy because he seems like, I know, like, I'm sure people back then who weren't within the culture of hip hop were like, they looked at him as a thug, as a criminal, and all this, but like, I mean, he was such a good person, man. I mean, even coming up with acting and just being a big character and being such a powerful person, speaking that dude could speak to anybody. You know what I mean?
Human being on earth.
He's a type of person that honestly could speak to someone on the opposite side of him, man, and explain to him. You know what I mean? Like, I could see Pac, if Pac was alive, him speaking to like Trump and explaining to him like, dude, this is why we don't like you. Like this is our problem with you. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's just beyond. It's like it's not even really about just the influence you can have on people and how to, which no one's perfect, but just as a president, this your influence can speak volumes to people who want to do bad things, who will do, but you just gotta be careful with your choice of words.
Right. So. But see, that's the thing about Pac. Like, Pac wouldn't give a fuck, dude. Like, Pac would just tell it how it is. And, man, it just would be crazy. And not even just Trump. I mean, you could go back to, like, Bush or anybody, any other president. And I'm not even just speaking of politics. We're talking about anybody. Like, I think Pac could really talk to anybody. And like he said, like, and not even saying he's going to influence those people, but he could speak to them or speak about them or explain to the world, because that's like the biggest thing about communication nowadays is like we're so screaming at each other.
We lack proper communication.
Right. And I think Pac, I mean, he interprets his feelings into paper, onto a mic, like into music. You know what I mean? So for him to interpret his feelings like that, like, it's not like how Kanye is, where like Kanye, he can interpret into music, but Kanye, he really can't speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes because I feel like he's a genius in his own right, because he's also somebody that grass ain't greener. Low key, I try to sound like Kanye, but like his the way he speaks on things, he says what he damn well pleases, but I feel like he doesn't take as much time to think about it. Well, I feel like Tupac, he thought about it a little bit, even if it's not a lot. He thought about it just enough to where he could explain
Right.
and get you to see his side.
Right. 100%. Because he, like I said, he's an actor. He was, I mean, dude, and he was a legit artist. Like when he speaks, like in those videos, man, it is crazy. Just like saying I might not change the world, but I'm gonna inspire. Yeah, spark the
mind that will. That's one of the most powerful quotes I've ever heard.
Right, and that's the thing. Pac has so many quotes that, like, and you can look at videos of him talking and speaking, and not even just in a song. Like he's in an interview or in the studio talking, and they're recording him. It is so inspirational, dude. It is so moving. Him even calling out Trump back in the day. Like saying and using him as an example, like people just want to take like Trump. They just
stomp.
Yeah. That video, that shit is crazy, man. Like he was on a whole nother level, just like Mike, just like we were talking about, energy and all, dude.
He said what I remember. Also, he said something about the Jacksons. He said they shouldn't be able to have like private jets, and some people don't even have plates or whatever to eat food on.
And people have like 3 houses. Well, why can't you just have one big house? Yeah. Why do you have to have 3 big houses?
Keep it to. I mean, love Michael Jackson. I'm just gonna put that out there. Love Michael. There's no disrespect. I just quoting what Pac said. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He was so, everything he said was so true, and I think he's raw as well. He's raw, and it's like it might not be pretty, but it is what it is.
Right.
Like when you like a steak. When before you cook it, you're just like, ugh. But when you cook it, prepare it and all that stuff. It's that's is what it is. So Pac was just a raw version, and I feel like if he was to have lived longer, not only would have more, because he had a lot of criticism too back in the day. I feel like as time grows, his words they age well. His quotes, it ages well. So then older, I mean, if he was to be around today, not only do I feel like he would be saying a lot more true stuff, but I feel like people would actually look back and then look at his present and be like, okay, this guy is really intelligent.
Right.
So
I wonder if he would even be rapping right now. Like I feel like
that's
Pac would be on some next level shit. I really think he'd be into something else. Something, I don't know. I'm sure he would always have a hand in rap because it's Tupac, man.
Yeah.
But I believe he would be like, I don't know if it'd be politics. I don't know if it'd just be just a mass business of giving back or what. But I think Pac would be doing something big right now, which is
something with his heart. Yeah.
It's weird how guys like him die so young, man. And I don't know if you get into other genres. That's one thing I wanted to ask because I felt like I heard other genres in your music too as well.
I like, so my favorite genres is rap, rock is after that, and then all of them are kind of like equaled up. But rap and like R&B,
right.
R&B, rap, and rock are my 3 favorites.
Right.
So I like other genres.
Right.
It would suck if you could only listen to one genre.
Oh yeah.
I can't just do one.
And it's like, dude, rap, like it's crazy. Like you see guys like Kevin Gates and Lil Wayne, like they're singing like Blink-182 songs, man. And then like that one album, I'm Not a Human Being 2 by Lil Wayne.
That was like a rock album.
Yeah. And it's good. It's super good. Like people kind of slept on that album, I felt, but I love that album, man.
Oh, yeah. I haven't heard too much of I just knew it was a rock album, and I remember. I mean, if I was to look at the track list, I might know more songs from it, but no, I feel like that was extremely. Even the album cover is dope. He looks like I don't remember a dark skinned Lenny Kravitz. Like he looks just kind of sitting there with it. It looks dope, Right. So
yeah, dude.
I'd always want to make like an R&B type album too. That would be cool.
Hell yeah.
Or collab with someone of a different genre on an album.
Right.
That would be dope.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? When we were talking about the like guys like Pac like dying so young, like, and we were talking about the genres, like you look at people with that amount of power, like you look at Pac, Bob Marley, Kurt Cobain. I mean, I could go. There's really not that many out there.
Biggie, because because he only had 2 albums. Then yeah, he had 2 albums, and then when he got killed. And I know if he would have made more, he would have had a lot more material, a lot more legendary material for us.
I think so too. Because Biggie is like, dude, MC wise, that's the thing is like I love Pac because Pac is like he's that influencer, he's a poet. But when you talk about an MC, like a real fucking MC, dude, I look
Biggie,
at
and I think he's like one of the only people I'd put above Jay-Z. He's one of the only people I put above Jay-Z and Nas. Honestly, like, would be Biggie. He's like the only like lyrically, I look at the way he tells stories, or just it's crazy.
Stories, his flow, like his flow is probably one of the best flows of all time. Like him, Snoop, and Andre 3000 to me have like the best flows of all time.
Because they can be on almost any song, and it literally
sounds amazing.
Any song, like the beat could just sound just like this, and they'd make it sound dope.
Right.
You know, they have a special gift for that.
100%. Yeah, and his voice, dude, is like is a big part of it.
He just sounds like an alpha male. Just,
yeah.
The boss is coming. Yeah, he's so
right. Dude, that's crazy, man.
And then you look at some of the younger people, and within our generation, our age range that passed, like X, Juice WRLD, Pete, Pop Smoke, King Von.
King Von, man. Dude, King Von, I was betting, like, dude, I'm done liking rappers, bro. Because every rapper I fall in love with, man, either dies or goes to jail. And I'm so mad because, like, Juice WRLD, dude, I'm one of the people, I wouldn't say, like, I'm not a bandwagon for Juice or whatever, but I didn't discover him, like, when he first came out. But, like, around the time when Juice was coming up, I was, like, in it. And he was, like, my favorite rapper up until he died.
Yeah.
And same with King Von. Like, King Von in the last year or so, he was, like, my go-to rapper because of how he told stories. Like, I love, and then he died. And then same with YNW Melly. I mean, he went to jail.
He just recently admitted that
right.
So now it's kind of, like, over for him, basically.
Right.
So, I get, because I remember when X first put out Look At Me, I was like, I didn't really like it that much. And then, after when he dropped, what was it? It was 17.
Yeah.
When he dropped, that's when I started to get into him. Then he dropped Question Mark, and then when he passed, that was like that hit me like the hardest out of any.
Hit a lot of people, dude. He was, dude. I'm gonna be honest. I was never like, this is so crazy, dude. And it's like I swear I'm cursed. Because, like, do you remember when X and Joey Badass did the King's Dead freestyle? Did you ever listen to that?
Yeah, I heard it.
Yeah, crazy. It was literally like 2 or 3 weeks before X died. I listened to it and I was like, man, I've been sleeping on X. Like, not that I ever hated him or disliked him. I always liked him. I just was never
opened your eyes to him.
It really warmed me up, and I was like, and after that, I got into his stuff, and then like 2 or 3 weeks later, he died, and I was like, son of a bitch, dude.
Yeah,
he was so talented, man. He brought a new wave of music, like that emo, right?
When you
know what I mean?
When you hear people go, yeah, the first person I think of is X, or this is ad libs, and his versatility as well. I remember when he got shot, man. I remember the day like it was yesterday. I remember. Because I was that day, I was supposed to record my first ever, song. Well, it was a cover to a Jay-Z song.
Right.
But and then I found out because my uncle was gonna take me. He was like, "Oh, we can't go today, but we'll try to go tomorrow." I was like, "Okay, no big deal." And then he comes in. Did you hear about X? And I was like, "Nah." He was like, "Oh, is he dead?" And I'm like. I'm looking all over Instagram and I see that and it's crazy, that it struck because he was young, had a child on the way, and he didn't have beef with nobody. It's just he didn't have security with him because he was in his hometown.
Dude, people were jealous.
Yeah, and they stole like his bag or something.
Dude, it's so crazy. And this is another person I listened to their album because of Charlemagne actually. Was Nipsey. He said it was album of the year. I trust. Sometimes I have a love-hate relationship with Charlemagne because he hates and he does, but he says real shit sometimes.
Yeah.
So But when he said that, I was like, I'm gonna give it a try because I trust his opinion, and I love the album instantly. But I was never like the biggest Nipsey Hussle fan. Actually,
I can say the same.
right. And then when he died, I looked at like it came out of all the good shit he was doing. Like he was a rapper's rapper. Like all the rappers loved him, and he was giving back so much. One thing in that 50 Cent book he talks about, he's like, now, don't get me wrong, because the whole AIDS thing of the documentary, you know about that, or about how he was trying to expose the documentary about how about how the government actually has a cure for AIDS or whatever or whatnot, and which he said I definitely think I'm sure the government was looking at him, and I'm sure that they try to have a hand into killing him or shutting him up. He said, but I'm telling you right now, as someone from the streets, he did not. That is not what killed him. I said, this is what killed him. It's the same thing that killed, what was it, the guy from Run DMC who got killed.
Yeah, I forgot. It was something DJ Jazzy.
No, it wasn't Jazzy Jeff. That's Will Smith. It's not Funk Flex.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
I
I'm really messing up right now, but like I know you know.
He was the DJ though.
Yeah.
He was the DJ.
Because it wasn't Rev Run, it wasn't the other guy. Yeah, it was the DJ. He got killed. He's like, it's the same reason why he got killed.
So, did you see how recently they found out who killed him? Really?
No, dude, I haven't looked into that.
It was his godson had him set up.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So this is what goes into a hand in hand of what 50's saying in this book. He's like, look. Nipsey was doing everything that you're supposed to do when you're from the hood and you get out, or you gain wealth. He's teaching kids financial literature. He's teaching kids how to layer their money, how to invest. He's giving back to his neighborhood, and then someone else, he's the king of his neighborhood. Someone else wants his place from his neighborhood. Someone else wants his place from his neighborhood. Like, I want that to be me. I want to teach people and stuff. And he ended up getting killed because he stayed. He's like, you know, I got out of Jamaica, Queens because I knew if I would have stayed there, I'd be dead because people want my place, so I'm gonna get killed.
Even if he wasn't wasn't a lot of beef or nothing, people just naturally
they're jealous. It's just a human thing, man. People are naturally humanly jealous. And he said, he's like, I hate that because, he just explains it. He's like, that's exactly why Nipsey died. Is someone was jealous, wanted to be in his place. And that's exactly what happened. Same thing that happened with Run DMC. All the other guys, they moved out. They didn't go back. And he's like, don't get me wrong. I'm all about teaching and helping out my community where I come from. I'm all about that. But I'm not going to live there because I know what the danger is for me.
That's what I was talking to my mom about. Because, we manifest me, accomplishing what I want. And I'm like saying, I'm not going to stay here after. I'm always going to have my ties and never will cut them, never will burn bridges. But I wouldn't live here full time. I wouldn't live here full time. Because people just, and then too with X, got your own city is like the most dangerous spot once all eyes are on you.
Right.
So you have to show love, but at the same time be smart. You got to be smart,
right?
And actually think. And then for some people they don't get into beefs. Like X wasn't in beefs with anybody, but that's another reason you want to keep the peace throughout hip hop. Because if you beef with somebody, no matter where, because I remember it was a Tech Nine interview, and there's a rapper named Mac Dre who's from.
Yeah, no, he was in I know exactly what Mac Dre is.
He got killed in Kansas City though.
Really?
He got killed in KC in 2004. So then there's this other rapper named Fat Tone who was from Kansas City, and when he was he went to Las Vegas, but he the West Side. Then he got killed there. And Tech Nine was in an interview saying he couldn't go to the Bay Area for a little bit right after he got killed because you don't know who knows who. You don't know who's gonna be. That's why you have to keep the peace. I'm all about peace. Peace, but I'm not. If I have an issue with somebody, I'm not gonna go in music with it unless it's like how Jay-Z and Drake had that competition. That's competition, but. I don't want to take it out because that's what a lot of people are doing nowadays. A lot of people are taking it out of music and putting it, in the streets.
Yeah, it's crazy feel like, I mean, they even talk about, I mean, in rap, I know M's talked about this where, like, back in the day, because, I mean, he is like, they have that, like, that rap battle image. He's like, back in the day, you just, either you lost or you
And
won. It's respect. And then he's like, and then, like, the Jay-Z and Nas shit happened. And obviously, like, like Nas sent people to shoot up his studio and stuff like that.
Word?
Yeah, like it got out of hand.
Oh.
It got way out of hand. Which it was, and it just started over. Like, if you look at Takeover, really, Jay was. It's almost like it was taken out of context. I feel like I guess it wasn't taken out of context, but it was. Jay was dissing Nas and someone else from New York.
I think either his ex or like the woman he had a child with or something. I know it was a woman involved
right
at one point, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't really know in depth with it, but I know like the song Takeover was him and someone else from New York, and he was just declaring like I'm the king of New York, and then Nas took that as like no. Yeah. Dude, that diss track is like one of the greatest of all time.
I listen to it, so I don't even listen. Like I don't even be thinking of it as a diss track. Sometimes it's just a good song, but then because like he builds up as the song goes on, like the punches start to get worse and worse. Yeah,
that was always a great diss track. Yeah, I hope no matter what, if diss tracks still continue, it doesn't take it outside of like people getting killed and stuff like that, because like it's just not good for hip hop, man.
Not at all.
Because I mean, look at Jay-Z and Nas. I mean, they're cool now.
Oh yeah, they're on good terms. Well, I wouldn't say great, but they're on good terms now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Drake and Meek Mill, they
squashed it.
I feel like those are. I wouldn't say any beef successful, but I feel like that's a well demonstrated beef of like from tension to peace. I feel like those are well demonstrated that.
Right.
Because I remember Drake even said in the song like or something like he could never forgive Meek for that, and now they had a song together like 2 years after. So
right, me and Jay-Z going back to back is getting scary.
Yeah,
that was crazy, dude. That was crazy. I actually, it's so funny. I didn't really even like a lot of people when they talk about that diss track with Drake and Meek like back to back, like because it doesn't feel like a diss track. It feels like just a hit, like typical Drake making a hit, winning you over a hit. But like, really, dude, what I think obviously that won it because it's a great diss track. But like, when you listen to Meek Mill's diss track, I was not feeling it. Like when I listened to it, I was like, dude, you're really. I mean, I get it. Like he kept like calling him out for the ghostwriting shit, but like his punchlines and shit in it were not like it was just kind of like all over the place. It didn't feel like because like when I hear a diss track like. Nas, like you said it, like M murdered you on your own shit. Like they called you ugly. They did this. Like it's like, damn, dude, stop. Like it was never like felt like he needled under his skin. Like it just kind of felt like he was all over the place. You know?
Because I think with Meek's diss track, he did keep it real, but it was one of those things where you listen to it and it's like, okay, I'll listen to it once and probably not play it again.
Right.
Like not that I hated it, but it was just one of those tracks that's like remember I said songs that you can kind of forget, and I think with Back to Back they had it on the radio.
Yeah, you can't forget that song. Right?
They had it on Drake made it to where it could sound like a regular song, but people know what I'm talking about in this song.
Right, 100%.
It turned it into a hit. That's kind of what made it. And people couldn't forget it if it's constantly playing. A lot of people didn't listen to Meek's.
No. It's still going. Hell yeah, it does that sometimes, but it'll be okay.
But, yeah, people didn't really listen to Meek's after they heard it one time and probably didn't play it a whole lot, So I think that's what kind of he thought of being real. He thought of being real, but he didn't really think of the caliber of plays each song would get.
100%. Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, 100%.
I think his second diss was way better. It was called War Pain.
Yeah, I know that one.
That one was
way better.
Way better, yeah. And it didn't get played on the radio.
Wasn't that after Back to Back though?
Yeah, it was after.
I was about to say, but it was like Back to Back already happened, so it was like right. You know what I mean?
And yeah, because Drake dropped Summer 16. It was right before Drake dropped Summer 16. Somehow Meek found out about that, so he went and recorded War Paint and dropped it before Summer 16 came out.
Right.
So people were kind of like, ooh, and
Right.
just like so Summer 16 didn't hit as hard.
Right.
That's kind. I feel like if he didn't do that, it probably would have hit people harder.
Right.
So it was strategy kind of.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. Like, even though Drake lost the beef between what's his face, Pusha T, which was like he did him dirty. You know what I mean? He did him really dirty. Hit a low blow, so it's kind of like okay, like. But I'm not gonna lie, dude. When Duppy Freestyle came out, I thought it was done. I was like, oh, dude, Drake came back. Like Drake really did. Like Drake can really go at someone. Like, dude, when Duppy Freestyle came back, I was like, oh, it's done. Like, there's no way Pusha's coming back. And then the next day, I saw Drake with the what was it, with the blackface or whatever. I was like, oh,
everybody
shit.
was just like, yo.
I was like, dude, what's gonna happen? And then I listened to it. I was like, he has a kid. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, with a porn star? I was like, dude, you're like, you read this dude's diary, bro.
Yeah, like that's what. Yeah, and then Drake was talking. See, I believe Drake probably won't ever forget Pusha T. I believe that.
Because that was kind of fucked up. Because I mean, he probably was. I mean, Drake's that status where I'm sure he was like, dude, I don't want anyone to know about my kid. I don't want it to be like let out or anything like that. But I don't know. So yeah, there definitely is no forgiving. Which is so weird why he came at him in the first place.
I forgot why too.
I think they had a life like a long lasting beef before that no one really knew too much about.
They did. It was like an underground beef almost, just with a real. It was like one of the more underground, unknown beefs, and then that okay. Oh, okay. Pusha T. I think what really Pusha T had a song. I forgot what it's called. Infrared. Yes. On that out, and then he kind of took some shots, and then Drake just kind of went at him, and then he dropped that.
And Daytona was a good album. I'm not gonna lie. Did you like that album?
I know the two songs I remember. Wasn't it a song called "If You Know, You Know"?
If You Know, You Know.
And then "Infrared" I liked.
Yeah.
And I forgot. I remember hearing it. I just forgot. Those are the two that stood out.
Dude, here's the thing about guys like Nas, guys like Pusha T, guys like Eminem, guys like DMX. Those
DMX.
Really aggressive people. What to me, I feel like it's so hard to beat them in beef and in like diss tracks is because they can paint such a dark picture. Like you look at Pusha T and actually the reason why I'm saying that is because who was Pusha T's producer? I forgot.
Kanye.
No, not Kanye. The album was Kanye, but Pharrell when they did was it Eclipse or whatever or
Clips. Oh yeah, Clips.
Yeah.
Grind.
Yeah. So he said the reason why I love Pusha so much is because he can just paint such a dark picture. And it's like if you're gonna beef with someone who could paint a dark picture in their song, like what are they gonna say about you? Like what are they gonna paint about you?
Like Eminem, he would Because I remember one time because Demetrius is a huge Eminem fan.
Yeah, me and Demetrius have the same exactly like we love the same music.
I remember we was talking about Eminem. He says, if Eminem was dissing his mama, what is he gonna say about you?
Right.
Like if he didn't, and I feel like a lot of even rappers that, like okay, they obviously have something in their life, but like they rap like they have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
And I think almost like how Tyson fights, like he has nothing to lose. When you feel like you have nothing to lose and you go crazy. You go push it, went a little overboard. But I mean, you go crazy.
Overboard,
you went a little, And then I think what was even worse than the kid was when he at the end he was like tick tick tick. He was talking about his friend about talking about he's gonna die soon. I think that was like
that was fucked up.
I think that was almost a little worse
because that was because he wanted to. He was gonna see how fast he responded. I thought that's what that was.
That man is sick. I was like, bro,
that's fucked. Oh yeah,
that's Drake's producer. That is his producer, bro. It's like,
that's terrible, dude. Yeah, he definitely took that overboard. Well, dude, I'm like typical white boy. I love Eminem, dude. Like, and I don't give a shit. Like, just because like I grew up listening to him. Ice Cube's what got me into rap. But like I listened to him. The first song I ever listened to was 50 Cent. I guess that's technically what got me into rap. But like when I loved rap was Ice Cube and NWA. But then I just became like the hugest, like obviously because my brothers and stuff listen to Eminem, I listen to Eminem but I didn't have a love for him yet until I got a little bit older.
Yeah.
And M's my number one just because like I don't know, I love M, dude. I love old M especially.
That's my favorite. I know a lot of artists don't like to hear that the old version of them was but I feel like that's the one that hits me the most.
Well, it's just like you were saying with his rage, you know what I mean? Like even though he was at the top, he still rapped like he had nothing to lose. You know what I mean?
Like a crab in a bucket.
Yeah, which is insane, man. He is an artist for sure, and he definitely has classics, and no one can take that away from him. I will say though that with him and the MGK beef, I do believe Eminem won, but I think because of MGK rapping like he had nothing to lose, I think that helped him out a lot with the beef.
It's crazy because I personally liked MGK's. I think it caught me off guard so much to the point where I was
MGK, like no one really expected it.
Yeah, and because like people can, which I understand. If someone likes Eminem's better, I think so. I understand both sides.
I 100% do, which is weird because it's Eminem. Usually it's like no M won, like you know what I mean. So that's why it's one of those where it's like, look, before MGK, like it was always like, oh dude, M murdered him, but I do think M won, but I don't like that might be the bias in me.
He didn't destroy him.
Yeah, he didn't.
Like it was a lot closer than it's ever been.
100%.
And yeah, wow.
It was like they went to the 12th round and people were like, oh nah, M won, and then some people were like, nah, MGK won. Because dude, when MGK came at him,
and on top of that, he went at him first. That's like the riskiest part about it. When you go first, that's even more risky. So, for it to be that strong on the first hit too.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing is like the reason because everyone was like, oh, he was saying stuff about his daughter, which is like what sparked the beef, but M just like let it go. What really pissed him off, because if you watch his interviews, M was like, nah, dude, it's more deeper than that. The reason why I dissed this motherfucker was because he fucking took shots at me on a Tech 9 song. He's like, and then he's like, I said before that he was taking shots at me on fucking freestyles and shit, and I just kept like,
ignoring
it, yeah, because he's like, I'm my favorite rapper ever since my favorite rapper banned me from Shade 45 or whatever. He's like, and he's like, he just kept dissing me, and I just kept letting it go because like, dude, he's a nobody. But then this motherfucker wants to take shots at me on Tech 9's song. That's when it's fucking done. So I that's when I just said fucking went at him and made Not Alike, which I love Not Alike. But when he responded with, which I love Killshot, don't get me wrong, Killshot, I don't think it's a classic, unfortunately, but I think it's a very perfect diss track in the fact that he responded to every single little thing that he said.
Yeah.
And that's like typical Eminem, like I'm going to take everything you say and take it too far and respond.
Precision.
Exactly. But with MGK, I think, dude, he was smart, made it a hit. You know what I mean? And which is something M is not, he doesn't really do anymore. He doesn't really try to make hits anymore.
Because I low-key still listen to Rap Devil sometimes.
I do too. It's a hit, dude.
It
slaps, man. It really does slap.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so crazy. Because I personally like, I haven't listened to too much of him lately, but I personally always thought MGK was cool. I always kind of, like, I think my favorite song from him is called Wild Boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean,
right. Dude, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like MGK at all until he dissed Eminem, and then for a while I was like, bro, fuck him, M1. But then after a while I was like, dude, this song is, I'm only mad because the song is pretty good. And I'm not gonna lie, I loved his album. I loved his album after he dissed Eminem, not the EP, but the album after that, with looks like him upside down with his head open.
That one. I haven't heard any of his recent stuff lately, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was a really good album. I'm not gonna lie, like he's a fucking rock star. And then of course he had his like punk, that punk rock album, which I really enjoyed too.
Isn't it like his newest one?
His newest one was like a punk rock album.
Yeah, I gotta take a listen to that one.
Yeah. What kind of rock do you like, dude?
Linkin Park's my favorite of all.
Linkin Park is good.
My favorite song of all time is Numb.
Yeah.
Like, I never had a favorite song up until, like, I heard about it after Chester Bennington, passed, unfortunately. like, I wasn't really aware. I mean, everybody knew it, but like I wasn't
Right.
really aware, and it just kind of gravitated to me so much. So I'd say Linkin Park for sure. Limp Bizkit's cool.
Yeah,
I'm,
Limp Bizkit is cool.
I don't. I probably don't. I'm gonna be honest. I probably don't know any underground rock
Right.
people,
Do
but
you like classic rock at all? Like any like classic stuff, or is it more kind of like the newer,
I like.
newish?
Well, I mean, I like the old. I feel like I like the older stuff. I know more of the older classic stuff,
Right.
like "Simple Kind of Man" from Leonard Skinner is like
Oh, that song
a
is
vibe.
amazing.
It's just such a yeah. I'm trying to think of more because I know I literally have like a playlist.
Playlist of rock. That's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, dude, rock is one of those where like I love Jimi Hendrix is
Hmm.
a fucking god. I like Clapton. I like I mean I ACDC obviously, even though they like every song sounds the same, I still respect it. You know,
Stained isn't Stained that
Stained is
Stained.
really. I saw him in concert, dude.
Did you?
Aaron Lewis, he's amazing.
Mm.
He's a cool dude, and he's really like, dude, his voice is really good, man.
Oh yeah, he's great. I know there's these two Alice in Chains songs.
Oh, I like
I like
Rooster.
it's not that one. One is Man in the Box, which
Oh
everybody kind of
yeah,
knows, and then this one that's like my friend named Justin. He showed me this song called Wood. It's like at the end of one of their albums. I forgot
I
what
don't
it's
think I
called.
know
It's like
that
the
song.
outro, and it's just insane to me. I was like, okay, yeah, I gotta dive into these guys.
Right. Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you have any like rock inspiration in your songs, or is it mostly like R&B related?
It's more R and but I'm gonna have rock stuff, rock related songs, but as of right now, it's more hip hop, R&B, and then I'd love to get rock more into the mix because I like Post Malone. That's another big
Yeah.
inspiration. And then you see him, he talks about he likes rock, rap and
Right.
stuff like that. I really
Johnny
look up to him.
Cash and shit like that, which I love. John, and I'm not like country.
Hmm.
Like, there's a few songs that, me growing up with rednecks as family,
Oh
I know
yeah.
country, but like
Hmm.
I don't like a lot of it. But like Johnny Cash to me, I talked about it last podcast. He's not very. I don't look at him as country. I look at him as his own thing.
Yeah, I know. I just know the one song. I've been everywhere. I just know that
Yeah,
song,
right.
but
Yeah, that song.
mm,
Yeah, he has some good shit. And but what was I gonna say? No, yeah. I love rock and roll. I love Jimmy, dude. Jimmy is like,
my grandma.
she likes Jimi
I remember
Hendrix.
she had a poster of him.
Yeah,
She had a poster of Jimmy. Yeah.
yeah,
I never got. I never. I mean, not that I didn't listen. It's just. I need to listen. Is what I'm
right.
twisting my words. I need to listen to him because she wanted me to play bass guitar a lot, and she wanted me to look up. I don't think he played a bass, but still, she wanted me to look up to a
Right.
guitarist like him. I need to, man.
If you
I
like
need to.
Linkin Park, dude, there's this guy. He has a similar voice, kind of, but not really. Like, dude, it's this guy named Ronnie Radke, and I don't like. I like. He has a band called Falling in Reverse, and you probably. I don't know if you like a lot of their songs because like some of their songs are I don't really like, but a lot of their songs I do. Like I'm a
Mm.
fan of them. But there's one song specifically I'll have to send it to you that I mean it's newer. It's
Right.
almost kind of like an emo rock, and I don't like that genre really at all. But like, dude,
Mm.
he is like I don't really get into it as much as I do other rock. But dude, he is his voice is incredible, dude. And
Mm.
he is like I believe he broke his voice box or something crazy like that. And it changed. His voice changed because like
Oh.
if you look at his old band versus his new band, you can tell the difference. You know what I
Right.
mean? But yeah,
Hmm.
he's real, dude. He's badass.
Yeah, definitely send it my way.
Hell
Because
yeah.
there's this it was an unreleased Linkin Park song that came out like maybe a month or two ago, maybe 3 months ago. I forgot what it was called, but it was from their. I don't think it was from their first album. I think it was from like it was supposed to be on their second album that came out in 2004.
Uh,
It was supposed to be on that I don't know, but they released it and it's amazing. So
right,
I'd like to hear anyone that looks sounds like that.
right,
Yeah, send that my way
right.
because
Hell yeah.
send that my
Would
way.
you, dude? Post, when we were speaking about Post, I feel like Post is kind of his own thing as well. Like I don't know if I really put him in hip hop, and some people respect and disrespect me for that. They're like, yeah, no, he doesn't belong in hip hop, and some people are like, no, he does. And I'm not saying he doesn't belong in hip hop. I'm just saying I feel like he has just a totally different, like, I don't know.
Like he's okay. I think he's like, oh, he's a rare breed.
Yeah.
For sure. I think he's like, he can make a song that's, because when he made that song with Ozzy Osbourne,
dude,
and then had Travis Scott in it, and he was like the middle of both, like the middleman. Like he had like what both of them had, and it was insane. He's I don't want to say pop artist, but it's like he can make anything, almost anything work. It seems like.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a mix, and like I said, it's his own thing. And I know a lot of people hate on him. I mean, he's really good. But I know a lot of people hate on him, but like, because people are like, oh, this isn't hip hop or this isn't. I'm like, well, dude, but it's just his own thing, man.
Exactly.
You know, and I think he does it. He does it really well. Because like, it really, if Post Malone was rapping, like just strictly rapping, it wouldn't be Post Malone. It wouldn't be him. So I think like him doing what he's doing is almost like the most respectable thing for him to do because it sounds good. You know?
Yeah, he inspired me to make Say My Name 5 times. That's what kind of Post Malone was kind of the inspiration for that.
Dude, I was vibing to that song earlier today, dude. I was vibing to that. That was good, dude. That was really good.
That's why I'm so glad that Post Malone, because he kind of he made me want to have more of a melody type thing as well. So you know, much love to him for that part. Him, Kanye, those are like my two biggest inspirations as of now. Especially with like making, you know, instrumentals.
That's crazy. You made your own beats too. I was gonna ask you about that. So you made a lot of them on there?
On my phone, yeah. I made them on my phone, and then I went to the studio. I had an engineer. His name's Danny X. He's incredible. And then there's another person that helped me with this one song that's not on the EP. Alex Cesar. He's incredible too. They're at Unlabeled Music. It's but yeah, they like helped me with like, you know, little stuff to the songs. So credit to them. Thank you to them for that. But yeah, I made them on my phone. I'll just be on I with GarageBand. I just make them on GarageBand.
That sounds incredible I mean, dude, like I was listening to my boy Marty's album, and I was listening to yours as well, and I was like, dude, like your beats are they're good. Like they're not just like the I don't know, like it doesn't sound like it's on GarageBand, dude. It doesn't sound like it actually sounds super good. So whatever you're doing, dude, keep doing because that shit sounds. Yeah, I really was like impressed with the beats as well because you know you hear a lot of people come up. It sounds very like I don't know. I don't want to say choppy, but it just doesn't sound. I mean, they're coming up, so they don't have the tools that everyone else has. But some people can make it work, dude. And when you make it work, it's incredible, man. Dude, that's incredible, especially to make your own for your music. That's
Yeah, I'm trying to get more into the engineering part, so then I could do every part of the beat by myself instead of like, so if the timing's off, I'll know how to fix that better or whatever. But yeah, that part, I feel like it's I'm not gonna say I'm like selective, but usually when I want to work with somebody on anything music, I want to like have a personal relationship or get to know you, get to know you before we start working on something, because I feel like that's also important for chemistry. It's, you know, and it makes you want to work harder when you're with someone that you can like trust and respect and stuff like that. So like with Reed, you know, because honestly I made lipstick and mascara like a year and a half ago.
Really?
Yeah, but I re-recorded it. But he's one of those producers that I really like trust and like believe in and respect. Reed Turner, he's really, you know, he's amazing. So yeah, to work with him on, there's actually some other beats he's sent or beats that I've rapped on of his. So usually if I'm not using my beat, other than that, when I'm not using my beat, sometimes it seems a little more difficult because it's like I don't know if this is my vibe, or because when you make your own beat, then you know specifically this is what it's supposed to sound like, and then you hear certain sounds, you're like, it almost this sound wants this topic, or this sound wants me to But Reed tends to get me though. Reed he gets me when he.
Right. That's incredible. Because a lot of I think it's coming back to that. Remember, rap used to be one producer, a rapper, producer and a rapper. Like Dre. I mean, you look at Dre, Diddy,
Will Smith. When
right
when he was first doing it.
Yeah, with was it Jazzy Jeff or was that his producer? Or was that
Jazzy? I'm gonna stop saying it so I don't sound bad.
Yeah, I don't. I've always.
But
he had
a great DJ though.
Yeah, for sure. I guess that was his DJ. I don't know if that was whoever made his beats, but dude, no, like for sure. I like, for example, the Kanye and Pusha T album. Like when it's just one producer and one artist, a rapper. I really vibe with those albums, man. I really do.
Like 21 Savage and Metro Boomin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my favorite album this year. Next to there's a couple other albums.
Pop Smoke had a good album.
No. Yeah, never mind. My bad. It was Pop Smoke and his were my two favorite. And then I'm still waiting, but Big Sean is right under there for sure.
I liked his album too. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't love his album, but I liked it a lot. For sure, what's it called? Dude, I really love that when it's just one producer or one artist, and it's incredible because usually when you have people like that producer, it seems to get that artist, you know what I mean, and connect with them, know what they want. Yeah, that's very important, you know.
Because sometimes when you get two rappers that make an album. It can be, I think when Jay-Z and Kanye did it, that album they did together was great. Had No Church in the Wild.
Right. Well, their chemistry is very good.
Yeah, their chemistry.
Plus, he was his producer before that.
Yeah, he was the producer too. Yeah, and so I think that already kind of gave him a head start. He's like, okay, now I'm also a rapper with you. But yeah, I think when it's a producer and a rapper, it's almost like they don't have the same. The songs don't always sound the same, but the vibe from each song, like you understand each song equally. Right. You might like one song better than the other, but you understand them equally. It seems 100%.
Like. Yeah, I think, in my personal opinion, I think Watch the Throne is the best collab album of all time, in my opinion. I don't know. Great. Either that or maybe Dre and Snoop's album, The Chronic. Maybe The Chronic.
Oh, yeah, that was a great.
Yeah, which. I love the Chronic. Like I think that's another one of the best collab albums of all time, and I love 2001. I actually got Apple Music a while ago because 2001 wasn't on Spotify.
Some songs they don't.
Yeah. I think it might be now, but back in the day it wasn't. So I was like, I'm buying. I have to. I don't care how much I have to pay. I'm buying Apple Music because this is like an album I cannot live without. Like that is like literally one of my favorite. It is my favorite album of all time. Next to Marshall Mathers LP and next to Get Rich or Die Trying. Those are like my top 3 of all time. Right. For sure.
I think Dre also produced that too. 50's album. I think.
Yeah. 50 and him produced that album for sure.
You can hear it.
Yeah.
There's some producers that I still want to work with. Like Manny Fresh. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Oh, I love Manny Fresh.
You do? Okay, good. Because
that's a lot of people sleep on Manny Fresh. Manny Fresh is awesome.
I'd love to work with him.
Him and Wayne have some hits, man. Hits. He had some hits on I think he had just 1 or 2 songs on Carter 5. Yeah, I know he had something on Carter 5, and then I think it was on Carter 2, or maybe it was the Carter.
One of the earlier
ones he was on there, because didn't he do Go DJ?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Manny for. Yeah, that's
my DJ. Yeah,
he's sick, bro. He's sick.
He has his own sound, dude. It's incredible.
I want to see. That's one of the producers that I'd want to work with. Obviously, Kanye, Pharrell.
Oh, Pharrell's amazing, dude.
I remember Jay-Z said something in the song. I'm gonna call you for real because you're the truth. Like he's dope. Like
right.
I'm trying to think if there's any more because.
Pharrell has so many hits, dude. I think if they do, when they do those when they do those verses, which I don't really watch too much, and I know like I'm a lover of hip hop, but I do watch, but I always miss them, and I'm still a fan of them, but not as much as other people, I guess.
Right.
But I think if Pharrell was versus with anyone, I don't know who could mess with him on hits, man. Maybe I don't know, maybe Mike will or something. But like, dude, I don't know. Pharrell has so many classics, man.
It would be so. It would be so difficult. There's very few people that are like top tier like that.
Right.
Top tier, and I don't know either. I mean, the only person that would be closest is like Kanye and Dre, and
right. Which Dre, I think Dre's the GOAT in my opinion. Like I think Dre, and a lot of people always say that too. Dre's the GOAT producer of all time. Like he's like the godfather of rap. But I don't know about hits. Like if you're just talking about hits, I don't know if he could throw it because I mean he has so many classics.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I guess it'd be disrespect for me to say he couldn't go, but because he could definitely go toe to toe with hits.
Talent. When we're talking about talent, yeah, he can go. Like
right, but hits wise, because he's so in depth with stuff. Like it's not like he has. Yeah. Well, let me wrap this up, dude. Because I don't want this stuff to delete. But
for sure,
100%. Thank you, dude. Go ahead and give a shout out.
I forgot to bring up Volume Loud. My little cousin, I forgot his rap name, but his name's Carlin. Shout out to him too, and check out the show on the 18th at the Roxy. It's $10 to get in, all ages. From what I think it's all ages. So tune into that 7:30.
All right, hell yeah.